Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Phoenix Blue Morning Update for Wednesday, the 30th of March. I'm Tom Colley, and I'll be taking you through the markets from yesterday and looking forward to potential opportunities for the day ahead. Let's start immediately with the news announcements. Yesterday we had some strong consumer confidence figures out of the States, followed by a speech by the chairman of the Fed, Janet Yellen, which had a significant effect on the markets. We'll talk about that in a moment. What do we have today? ADP non-farm employment change at 115. That's not the major non-farm figures which come out on Friday, but often give us a heads up on those figures. Crude oil inventories at 330 from the US. We saw some big numbers on this last week that brought to a halt the bullish move we'd been seeing on crude oil. Over in the Asian market, nothing much to show on the US dollar Chinese yuan exchange rate, still hovering around this significant level that we've been talking about all year. Shanghai Composite, the composite of the Chinese equities markets. Well, I've marked in a developing bullish channel here. Are we going to see a bit of a recovery in Chinese equities? Well, one factor in that may be news overnight Friday when we've got the manufacturing figures coming out of China. Any figure on these that's below 50 constitutes contraction. We've seen almost continuous contraction for the last 12 months, so we'll be looking to these figures to see how they come out and how they affect equities in China. Over on the Nikkei, again, a developing bullish channel, but overnight we've had some significant news out. Preliminary industrial production figures, minus 6.2. Really significant because this is the biggest contraction we've seen in industrial production since the terrible 2011 earthquake in Japan. There's already talk of maybe that being reflected in another quarter of negative growth and technical recession. Also talk of the government withdrawing the sales tax or the increase in sales tax that's due the beginning of next year. Okay, over on the dollar index, well, this is where Janet Yellen comes in. This is the dollar index yesterday, a real bearish move here. Predominantly this move was through her speech, dovish comments reiterating that we're unlikely to see more than 2 rate rises this year. They were data-dependent rate rises. She also spoke about the potential measures available to the Fed should the US economy weaken. So all in all, a pretty negative stance in the speech, reflected in this move here. Now, I had a lot of people asking me yesterday, does that mean that we're no longer bullish the US dollar? Well, no, because here is the weekly dollar index. I've got a rising trend line through here. I'm ignoring this as an anomaly, this low here. As long as the dollar index stays above that level, I'll still be bullish the US dollar. We've still got monetary policy divergence. The States is the only economy talking about rate increases when the majority of the rest of the world is potentially reducing rates, looking at negative interest rates and further quantitative easing. So again, still bullish at the US dollar at this moment in time. Over on the yen, yesterday we had trades running from down this level here. We'd got to 5 or 6 times risk up. We'd got stops at relatively high levels when the speech from Janet Yellen came in. Obviously these were then stopped out, but significant 6-to-1 profits through the last week on the Japanese yen there. Over on the pound, yesterday morning we had an entry at this level here, 4250. There was a short trade. It got to our T1 target. We got profits off the table, a stop to break even, and price came back through and stopped us out. To be fair, even before the Yellen speech, which then drove or the dollar weakness allowed the pound to strengthen in the way it shows in that bar. Okay, over on the Swissy, well, we always tell you about our losses, and we had a loss here. We had an entry at the round number 9700. This triggered around the time of Janet Yellen's speech. The dollar weakness simply played out here straight through to our stop, so that was a loss. Unfortunately, another loss we had yesterday was over here on the New Zealand dollar. We were looking to trade short at 67.50. We got an entry, but again, the Yellen speech simply took price straight through our stop. However, in this market, we've another order triggered overnight at the 68.70 level here. Nice initial reaction from that. We're looking for a T1 target where we'll get profits off the table and our stop to break even, whilst targeting T2 profits down at this level. So a loss in that market, but straight back in again with another high probability entry. Over on the Aussie, we saw the dollar weakness reflected in the bullish move in the Aussie here. We had been looking for a trade from this level and the confluence with the trend line. We're now potentially looking for price to double top at this level here, at which point we may trade short down to this level, but we'll just see how that plays out before actually placing a trade later on this morning if appropriate. Over on gold, well, we saw a bullish movement on gold yesterday, a really strong move. However, it's a move that looks bullish, but at the end of the day, it is only to the top of our downward channel here. With an entry down at this level here in confluence with the trend line here. We're still very much bullish gold. Longer term, we see a risk-off scenario, so our stance will remain bullish gold, but we still expect it to pull down to that level. The only time our attitude on that will change is if this high is taken out up here. Over on commodities, well, we're short copper. We had a nice big move yesterday, followed by a reaction through the dollar weakness. But again, this morning we've got another bearish move. We'll be looking to add in after a close below this level, hopefully today, around this level, to take the trade down to the confluence here, which is our T2 target. Over on cocoa, we've been in this trade a long time. We've been in it since right down here from a COT signal. This is the weekly chart. We have a significant level through here. We'll be looking for price to break through there and pull back in order for an add-in trade on copper. We still have T2 targets up at this level. Okay, well, that brings the video to conclusion for today. If you're interested in how we trade, if you like the clean charts, you want to buy and sell with the bank, you want to trade with a fundamental bias, you want to investigate the commitment of traders analysis, please contact us. We're at info@phoenixblue.co.uk. Any questions about this specific video, I'm on tom@phoenixblue.co.uk. Okay, now that's goodbye from me today, and we'll speak to you in the morning. Take care.